Our first referee is Jim Leonard, and he will have a tough job. And Kim Pickering is our umpire. So we're set, ready to go 1 game to 15. We'll talk more about this as we go. Steffes and Karai on the left side of your screen. And the first ball is hit straight down. These teams do not like each other. They have really never liked each other. There was a war of the words last week in Manhattan. St. John Smith saying that Kent Steffes, for a young guy who had not won very much, had a big mouth and he should shut it. And then Kent Steffes, who just served the ace, went on a radio show and called Smith and Stoklos a couple of hicks, but he didn't say hicks. He used another word that rhymes with hicks.
Starts a little earlier.
In the alphabet. Now you can imagine that infuriated Smith and Stoklos. The DJ repeated it on the air. Steffes apparently told the DJ off the air as Smith digs it out of bounds. 2-0. But the DJ came back on and said, I'm here with Kent Steffes. He has just called Smith and Stoklos a couple of hicks. But I repeat again, it was not hicks. And you can use your own imagination.
Talking about Kent Steffes, young and good, and already has a Spader by the lake on the board against Randy Stoklos down the line.
So just to complete the thought, as Smith hits it out of bounds, now 3-0. Steffes subsequently tried to apologize to Smith. Smith refused, and they got into it, and here we go. 3-0 is our score. Setting it up. And the dink shot down the line. The extra time, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Certainly some extra rest for Smith and Stoklos.
Well, because the tournament in general from first round through to this is double elimination. Smith Stoklos have played 1 extra game. You saw that in our semifinal against Powers and Hovland. So during the conversations and the negotiations, they were able to eke out an extra hour or so rest.
Stoklos rejects at the net. Now 3-1. Now keep in mind, we are playing the 10-minute game clock as Stoklos gets his first stuff block.
Karai and Steffes off to a great start, but Randy Stoklos not going to let the incident distract him, nor the crowd's disfavor, coming through with a stuff here right back at Kent.
Smith has it. Could be point number 2 coming up. No! Karai over the net. Stuffing Smith. Well, you were in the tent, and you said that's about as mad as you've ever seen Karch Karai. Hungarian goulash coming out.
Well, there was one huge factor as we get to see Karch blocking a ball in transition here against St. John, moving the block in. The big factor was that you've got 7,000 people here who've enjoyed the volleyball throughout the weekend. The community has been supportive. Nobody wanted a non-appearance, a non-final to let down the sport and this final. That was a huge responsibility for Karch and Kent to take on throughout the course of the negotiations. And they said, look, don't put that on us. George Carey, the tournament director, decides the format. We'll play. There was a lot of confusion.
Serving Steffes. And another dig by Smith, trying to get that second point. Yes, he does. So St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos going up against Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. We played about 1 minute into this game. We're taking a side change. 3-2. Karai and Steffes. Fireworks here in Grand Haven. Stay with us. More to come. Karai and Steffes 12-9 on time. Faust and Rogers, Frohoff and Whitmarsh, a very tight one. Hovland and Powers easily, and then defeated Smith and Stoklos in the finals of the winners bracket, 15-9. For Smith Stoklos, they have played an extra game. Boyles and Davis, Walmer and Jantz, had some troubles with Ludes and Dodd, lost to Karai and Steffes, and then defeated Hovland and Powers very impressively, 15-5. So Smith and Stoklos have now gone on to the good side as we continue play in our final. So St. John Smith will put the ball in play. 9 minutes and 4 seconds left on the 10-minute clock. Play only goes, and the clock only runs during play. And Karai drills one. Karch is really jumping now. He's got the adrenaline.
Karch is pumped. Lots of arguments. Stood his ground. Boy, I'd hate to have this coming at me at full speed, because even in slow motion it looks...
All 4 players had their points. They all are now adrenalized, so we should see some pretty good volleyball here, don't you think? We've already seen some digging. And
maybe the best final of the year. And that was why it took so long, is that all 4 players each two teams
all heated
and had legitimate. It really didn't get that venomous or heated between the players. They just stood by what their opinion was with regard to the format, and they were not going to budge.
Shank pass, Karch chasing, and this would be to tie it up. Smith gets it, and we're tied at 3.
Keep an eye on Kent Steffes, the youngest of these 4 players. Stoklos, Smith, and Karch, all very experienced, been through the brawls verbally and physically in the Players 10 and out on the tour. How will this affect the youngest player out there? No block by Kent Steffes, and then St. John finding the open area.
Serving Karch, and Karch cuts inside.
I think Smith and Stoklos make a mistake not serving Kent Steffes. One of my keys for this match was putting the clamps on Kent Steffes. Big match like this, I think Karch is the more reliable, more dependable hitter for side outs.
3-3 is our score. And the deep jump serve is out of bounds. So the Kings of the Beach against the Dream Team. The Kings, obviously, Smith and Stoklos, until dethroned. They have won the most tournaments this year, 10. They've won 2 international tournaments. Nice dig by Smith.
No one. Come on.
Karch backpedaling, can't get there. So Smith and Stoklos, after a very shaky start, reel off 4 straight points and now have the lead 4-3.
I think they came out very distracted by the goings-on, and then the crowd gave them a less than friendly reception when they came out on the court. The crowd aware that their decision to slow things down with regard to the finals, but they've settled down now.
Steffes taps it gently over the top. So Kent Steffes, he's 23. Would he be distracted by all this? Maybe. See how he responds to the pressure and the challenge here put up by Smith and Stoklos. Smith and Stoklos, as you look at the numbers for Steffes for this year in the United States. And Stoklos bombs one and it explodes off the sand.
Well, you talked about these players being adrenalized or pumped up, and I think you're exactly right. Saw the thumper from Karch early, but this is just a crater maker up the middle past the block of Karch Karch.
Stoklos to serve. And he goes into the net. So Karch, his team trailing by 1. We'll listen to the communication of Smith Stoklos now. And a good call. Angle and Stoklos slugging hard.
I think Karch and Steffes are serving Randy Stoklos too easily. Karch is just going with a patty cake jumper. I think if you want to work Randy Stoklos, you've got to serve him tough, because when he gets the engine moving, he can rip the ball right through your block and certainly past it and around it.
Stoklos giving the stare down at the moment to Steffes. If he stuffs him, that will be a big play. Not that time, as Karch goes over on 2, side out.
Good decision when the ball is passed high, too near the net for you to set the ball. You have to make a quick decision, go on 2, look at the defense and chop away.
Steffes to serve.
4-3, Smith Stoklos.
Tight set.
Oh, big stuff by Karch as he got all the way over on Stoklos.
2 stuffs for Karch Karch early. One against St. John, Smith in transition, and this one for a score. Watch Karch. Does he jump into the cross court? Yes. Does he get over? Yes.
Miss serve. We're tied at 4. We've played 2 minutes into our game. Once again, for the first time in Pro Beach Volleyball history, a clock is being used today. Clock runs when the ball's in play. Average rally, 5 seconds, and the ace serve for Stoklos. So Stoklos serves up the spader down the pipe.
Into a light breeze, Smith and Stoklos on the good side. The court virtually gets bigger because you're hitting the ball into the wind. Very high over Karch and Stephes, but still in by a foot. Tight set.
Joust at the net.
Gotta come.
And Karch over the top.
That's where Karch wants to go. When he breaks out the knuckler, he wants to extend as high as he can to get over the top of Randy Stoklos, and he's going to come back to the line. Smith will try to read that, break on that ball earlier.
last year, the most valuable player on the beach. Stoklos thought he should have won it, and most likely Smith thought he should have won it. I think Karch, off the head of Smith, it comes over, and it's poked out of bounds on the backhand flipper. So we've got a hot one brewing. 5-5 with 7:41 to go in the game here at Grand Haven.
Doc, I've been thinking about making a comeback.
Stocky, it isn't jet ski. By LA Gear Catapult with the anti-fatigue rebound mechanism that you can actually feel from LA Gear. By Killer Loop Sunglasses by Bausch & Lomb. And by your local Chevron dealer and high-quality Chevron Supreme with a cleansing power of Tetroline. Capacity crowd here at City Beach. Watching Karch Karai and his partner Karch Stephs go up against St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Smith and Stoklos out of the winner's circle for the last couple of weeks, while Karai and Steffes have won the last 2 tournaments. We are using a clock in this final, a 10-minute timer. The game, as you see, 15-0 in the last tournaments. Average win 15-7. Karai and Steffes have been hot, but they have not played Smith and Stoklos with the exception of the winner's bracket final, which was this morning, which they won. So Smith and Stoklos, Karai and Steffes for the first time on Prime Network this year. First time on TV, we get a chance to show it to you. And right on the line, a great shot by Randy Stoklos. Bad call that time by Steffes.
Gotta be, your partner has to come back with you on the high loopy and really help you. It's good, it's out, one way or the other. Not good communication there, but a great saving side-out shot by Randy Stoklos. Working Steffes.
And he drills it cross court. This could be the kind of tournament that sets the tone for the big money tournaments coming up the rest of the summer, as was Milwaukee last year when Smith and Stoklos came back to beat Frohoff and Karai. This might be the most important tournament of the year in terms of karma.
Setting the stage.
Yes, exactly.
For the big tournaments yet to come.
Who's going to have bragging rights? Who's going to have the confidence? And Smith hits inside of Steffes.
Steffes caught leaning into the cut shot, not able to cover deep middle as well. Smith now with 4 kills, Stoklos with 4 as well.
And as we normally do, we will be presenting the Killer Loop Kill Award today. And that award presented by Bausch & Lomb, the official sunglass sponsors of the AVP. $500 to the player with the most kills. And we'll talk it over. We have Jim Leonard. Let's listen.
Yeah. Because Steffes just served. All right, well, they served out. There's a St. John.
I was on. That was
Randy
the shot
just served.
that was the shot he made.
Randy just served a ball short over here.
So confusion?
Rearranged the...
Which is par for the course today, I guess. If you were with us earlier, an hour and 20-minute delay while the 2 teams argued over the format. Was it a single final or a double final? We are playing under double final now. 5-5 is our score. I'll tell you right now, Steffes is shaky setting. That ball is sticking.
Well, I mentioned a few minutes ago, Chris, how would all this controversy and the delay and the tension and the stress and the growling, how would it affect him when he came out on the court? Would he be able to set it aside and just focus on the game? So far, it looks a little bit shaky.
A little tentative, as you said, which I think is a good word to describe it. Steffes blocks Stoklos. You know, you think of all the pressure that Karch Karai's gone through in his career, the gold medals, the trips to Cuba, the trips to Brazil. Steffes really hasn't been in that kind of situation.
Not with screaming, yelling crowds and the Cubans and the Russians and everybody else trying to beat you, but Kent Steffes is learning quickly on the beach. Jump into Randy Stoklos' cross court as they continue to serve him.
7-5, Karai and Steffes off the head of Stoklos, and Stoklos touched the net. It might have been his headband. Point. Karai and Steffes.
Remember, each team now with 4 30-second timeouts. I wouldn't be surprised to see Smith and Stoklos take one. St. John's looking up at the scoreboard, and he and Randy are discussing it right now.
I think they're saying that it's only 7-5, and I think they're right.
I think they're correct, yeah.
So they'll reset the scoreboard. So all kinds of stuff going on here at the Miller Lite Grand Haven Open. Karch ready to jump it up. And Shank.
Score.
Stokey picks it up. Steffes on the bad side. His bad side. But he gets hits it anyway.
Difference in the two rainbows from Randy Stoklos. You hear Karch Kirai working back, barking out to his partner. It's good. Passes the ball, they get the good transition score.
Have to give the a good staccato call. Now it is 8-5, 6:51, 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the game. If you get to 15, you win. Ace for Kirai. So Karch Kirai dials up the Spader when he needs it.
Second Spader on the lake. Kent Steffes has one, and now Karch Kirai has one. They're working both areas of the court, up the line to Randy Stoklos, this time sharp cross court.
A couple of people written in. We didn't have a chance to go over it in the beach bag. What is a naked ace as 4 straight points? A naked ace is an ace that is not touched.
Untouched.
But we do credit an ace if it goes off the receiver out of bounds, not being touched. One touch.
I think we ought to start calling it the fig leaf ace. One's the naked ace and one's with a fig leaf.
So Kirai just dialed up the Spader, the naked ace. Whatever it was, it's working. 9-5. Karch and Stephes with under 7 minutes to play. We'll be back. And Karch Kirai applying the pressure now. 10-5 is our score. Smith and Stoklos trying to hang on here. First confrontation on prime this year. Steffes, chance for a point. Got it!
An excellent shot by Kent Steffes, because Karch Kirai would agree that that was not an excellent set in transition. Going back over Kent Steffes' head, still able to loop the ball down the line.
11-5. Clock may not come into play.
Going away from Randy Stoklos to St. John. St. John Smith, very experienced, hitting high and hard. Going to be doing that on the beaches of Chicago next week. North Avenue Beach. Check your local listings to see when that will air in your particular part of the country. Big tournament in Chicago coming up.
Smith serving. Under 6.5 minutes to play. As Kirai punches it through Stoklos.
Off the top of the block of Randy Stoklos.
The big question for Karch and Stephs coming into this tournament, could they beat Smith and Stoklos? Because when you're measured on the Pro Beach Volleyball Tour, everybody's measured compared to Smith and Stoklos, the winningest team of all time. Down the line, Karch can't quite get there. He's close, though.
Well, again, waiting behind the block. And I thought one of the keys for St. John Smith in this match was to establish the cut shot with 6:15 left on our playing clock. St. John has not established the cut shot effectively, been going mostly over the block.
Stoklos with a good serve. And a good dig. Keeping it in play is Karch. And good call by Smith. Point. I'll make that a side out. Excuse me. Oh, that is a point.
Score.
Okay.
That's a score. And Randy Stoklos not overreacting. Now he's relaxed, gotten into a pretty good flow, and just looping the ball into the open court.
6 serving 11. And the service error. Do you see any signs of fatigue for Smith Stoklos?
No, I really don't. I just think Randy pressing a little bit. He'd been serving extremely well up the middle that time, just tried to chop off an ace to the sideline.
Looks like he's trying to serve it to the outside of Karch if he can, as Steffes dials one up. That's out of here. Let's check the kill totals right now for the Killer Loop
Kirai and
Award.
Steffes each with 6, Smith and Stoklos with 5, and St. John Smith with 6 as well. So not big numbers up there yet.
A lot of scoring plays. Yeah.
Come on!
I think you're right, Paul. I think that's a mistake, serving Karch.
I thought it was a mistake last week for Scott Akatubby and Steve Timmons at the Manhattan Beach Open. I think it's a mistake this week for Smith and Stoklos not to serve Kent Steffes. You know what Karch can do. Find out if Kent Steffes is really as good as everybody says he is.
Off Steffes. Goes Stoklos. Side out.
Randy Stoklos, side out. Score remains frozen. On the side out, 6 serving 11.
Very evenly distributed are the service receptions. That's good news for both teams. And Stoklos makes the same serving error for the 3rd time. So Stokey having a little trouble with his control, and he looks up, appearing to question where the sun is.
Well, it's right up there, and it's big and it's bright. No eclipse in Michigan.
Steffes and Karch keeping the ball in play now. And St. John hits hard.
Hard hit spike over the block of Karch Karai by St. John Smith. Side out, Smith Stoklos.
We saw 16 overall serve receptions for Karach and Steffes. If I'm serving Smith and Stoklos, as you see the aces versus the airs, really good numbers for Karach and Steffes. If I'm coaching Smith and Stoklos, I want 7 or 8 serves in a row going to Kent.
Steffes does not pass as well as Karach. That should be a point. Oh, Karach with a diving save. Stoklos will hit this one, won't he? Out. He hit it out. So it's a side out.
Never, ever give up on a ball. If you can get one hand on it, get the ball somehow back to your partner. Karch in I formation, seeing the ball go through the blocker's arms and out of bounds, but it was the dig cross court that made the play.
11-6. And down the line goes Smith. So the clock is wound down some. 5 minutes and 17 seconds to go. Keep in mind, if you get to 15, the game is over. But if you haven't gotten to 15, and you're ahead when the time runs out, you win. If you're losing when the time runs out, you lose. If we're tied, it is next point, sudden death. Steffes. And Steffes taps it over and out down the line. So a hitting error for Kent Steffes.
2 serves in a row to Kent Steffes, and out of it comes 1 hitting error and a point on the board.
And Stoklos eyeing Steffes now. This is our championship, the Miller Lite Grand Haven Open. Chris Marlowe with Paul Sunderland. Ooh. And Stoklos' serve travels just long. Just missed an ace on that.
3, 4, make that 4 service errors now for Randy Stoklos.
Trying to get some points on the good side, you have to serve hard into the wind. And out right back. So both teams serving very poorly right now.
Well, good side, bad side in today's perfect conditions, very minor differentiation. Good side is now occupied by Smith and Stoklos. The wind only blowing about 5 miles an hour.
Steffes pounds big time. Down the line.
Kent Steffes, along with Brent Frohoff, probably hit that shot better than anybody else on the tour. And the shot, I mean, is the screwball. The set's inside and then, boom, turn the ball away from your body inside out.
It was a beauty, 11-7. And Stoklos, his favorite shot. He loves that. The pound cross court right at Karch.
It's like Roger Clemens, the Rocket, setting up everything off the fastball. High, hard, and straight cross court. You get pattered in, you get dug in, because here it comes, and Karch in great position. But what that does is open up the rest of the court entirely for soft shots.
Down the line, Smith has it. And you can hear Stokey saying, get it over here.
Well, St. John bemoaning it as well. Easy chance that time, even though St. John went down, a play he would normally set in a position where Randy could take a swing.
He usually shovels that up very nicely to the net. He's a great bump setter, and we're talking about St. John Smith. 11-7, a lead of 4 for Karach and Steffes. Steffes on transition. And Stoklos touched the net. So Stoklos forced Steffes to hit it out, but he had to touch the net to do it.
And
it's a play.
Nice play by young Kent Steffes. A setting error by Karch Karai, setting the ball right on top of the net, which is dangerous territory against Randy Stoklos, but Kent able to tap down and gets the net violation against Stoklos.
I thought Stoklos had blocked that one now. 12-7. Karach and Steffes.
But he just has the physical ability, even on a set 4 or 5 feet off the net, to hit the ball into such a sharp angle.
Beautiful hit by Stoklos that time. He was off the net and just crushed it.
Smith and Stoklos, 7 serving 12.
And now he will patrol up at the net.
So far for Randy Stoklos, how many blocks? Just 1.
Remember, he had 5 in our semifinal against Hovland and Powers. Steffes has relaxed and now seems to be playing his game, and so Karch Karai
leading our hitters now with 10 kills. Steffes is an excellent passer. That's the key to good siding out. This one a field goal, I think, against Randy Stoklos, or just outside him.
Karch very cognizant of the clock now, trying to keep the ball in play.
That's a great
As Randy must be getting very close to getting the lead.
Stoklos now with 9 kills, Steffes with 10. Stoklos has received 12 serves as opposed to 10 for his partner St. John Smith.
Interesting strategy. 4:28 to go in the game. Karch and Stephs leading. And Karch pings one down the pipe.
I don't understand this. They serve Kent Steffes a couple of times, score. They go back to Karch, side out. I think they've got to be serving Kent Steffes 3 out of 5 times.
Kent to serve.
Steffes trying to keep the ball in play on the bad side. Smith and Stoklos, however, side out pretty well now. Karch blocks.
Come on, Ken. Okay. There it is. Go, Marty.
Just out. So Smith and Stoklos get a reprieve, but a good defensive rally by Steffes and Karch.
A big opportunity missed by Karch and Steffes to score from the bad side. 13-7 side change. Steffes with a great defensive play, but cannot finish off.
Beach volleyball's all-time winningest player. Pounded down the line, side out, Karch and Steffes.
Karch turns and bangs down the line. Good for a side out. Score remains frozen.
Chris Marlowe, Paul
12
Sunderland,
serving 7.
and a packed house here at, well, I should say a packed beach here in Grand Haven. This is City Beach. This is the spot for beach volleyball. As Karch gobbles one up to go to 13. And there it is. So Smith and Stoklos deep trouble. 3:57 to go in the game, and they try. Hovland and Powers in third. Pretty good finish. Andrew Smith and Brooke Vandewey on the rebound. There was some talk that they might break up, but they had a very, very good tournament this week. Akatubby and Timmons in fifth. Dodd and Ludi. There might be some switching there. Moodhat and Dvorak played well until the end. Chavez and Young, the surprise team of the tournament. Hanley Johnson disappointing, Clark Wirtz disappointing, Walmer-Jans disappointing, that whole group disappointing, Frohoff and Whitmarsh, and then the gang in 17th place. See, Eller and Welch have faded just a bit after playing so well. Friedrichsen and Meir, if you're wondering, Larry Meir has a bad back and he's been playing in pain, so their team not doing quite as well as they were a little earlier in the summer. 13-7 is our score. This is our championship final on Prime Network, the Miller Lite Grand Haven Open. 3:57 to go in the game, but we don't think the clock will come into play because Karch and Steffes, at least right now, are on the good side, leading by 6. Spike is out. And Karch and Steffes are 1 point away. What will be interesting to see if Karch and Steffes do win, what will happen with a handshake afterwards. So we'll keep our eye on that right after. At championship point. Got to go over, and Steffes can't get there. I believe Steffes touched it.
Touch off the block. Karch with a tomahawk dig, not able to get enough altitude for Kent to keep the ball in play over the net.
Match-saving side out by Smith. Randy Stoklos serving.
Stoklos and Smith need to get some points. Quickly.
Here. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, dribble. What a cut. Inside the block.
This is the dangle of the angle. Roll the ball across the top of the tape and hope it stays inbound. Championship point number 2.
Excuse me, Steffes looking to put the kill.
Watch him going down Stoklos' sideline. He's got 2 aces there earlier.
Smith way back. Big trouble. Steffes for the championship. Got it! Watch for the handshake. Here it comes. Yes, it is completed. And Karch and Steffes win their 3rd in a row, but this